5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hey everybody, you are tuned into Uptown with Mona, your go-to show for everything poetry, hip-hop, and entertainment. I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and we've got a dope show for you today. So sit back, relax, and let's get this party started right. What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Happy New Year. Happy belated New Year. I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody went out and had a good time. I hope everybody got home in one piece. You know, I know y'all know what the hell is going on up here in New York, all the shit that's been going on since the New Year, whatever. But listen, I'm here. I ain't do nothing. My ass was knocked out by 10 o'clock at night. I was out. I ain't even see the ball drop, so I ain't care. It's another day for me. New Yorkers don't give a crap about that stuff, you know. Anyway, y'all, I'm happy to be here. You know, I swear I could never wait. I get so anxious every Monday because I just can't wait. I can't wait to interview my guests. I just love my show. So let me say what oh wait, before I say that, Tamika is still out. Okay. I'm going crazy over here. I need Tamika. Tamika got issues with her computer. Listen, we gonna have to take up a fucking GoFundMe for Tamika so she could fix her computer. Cause I need her. We need her. She got like 4 different shows that she manages and she ain't been able to do nothing. So I'm just I need Tamika because y'all know I fuck shit up all the time. So I'm just letting y'all know if I fuck it up again tonight, just laugh about it, talk about it, whatever. Y'all already know what it is. But let me do my intro and okay, so welcome to Uptown with Mona. We meet every Monday at 7 p.m. on YouTube, and Facebook, and again on Thursdays at 6 p.m. on withoutwarningradio.com. Please go to Uptown with Mona, last name Baudet on Facebook, and join. Please join. That page is it's very lonely. Okay. Also, uptown.with.mona on Instagram, another page. Both of those pages are really feeling rather lonely and neglected because you guys don't seem to want to go to those pages. I don't understand. All I need you to do is just join those pages, okay? All right. And if you have an interesting story, and if you're a poet, a singer, a dancer, etc., whatever, you tell a joke, whatever, and you want to be interviewed, you can hit me up on uptownwithmona@gmail.com. My Cash App, if you'd like to donate, is money sign Uptown with Mona, or right there. You see that little symbol on the corner, on the right hand corner, right there. You could join. Real simple. You could join. Right. You could donate whatever. No amount is too small. Okay. Also, January 27th, 2025. At Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue at 7 p.m. They open at 7. Showtime is at 8. The Naughty List, the craziest erotic poetry show you will ever have fun at. All right. It's definitely going down. You know, we're going to have a sultry night of erotic poetry, adult games, and the shenanigans because, you know, there's always something going on around us. All right. So I hope to see you there. And if you want to get tickets, you can go to Eventbrite or you can hit me up and, you know, or you can pay at the door. You pay at the door is $25. If you buy the tickets online, it's $20. Okay. Now, I have been chit chatting with this guy, and I know he's a poet, he's an artist, he's a hip hop artist. But and he gave me his bio. That shit was forever long. I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not reading it. I'm going to just bring him on and let him tell it. So you and I, all of y'all and myself, we going to learn about this gentleman together. Okay? So hold on one second. Let me do this. because I have to do this. We're going to bring his name is Seeymoore Bell. Oh, wait, here we go. We're going to bring Seeymoore Bell up. And we are going to talk about a few things. We just going to have
Oh my
fun.
gosh.
And that's all we're going to do. We just going to have fun.
Yo, I'm laughing about the bio.
I'm telling you, I read that bio and I was like, I started reading. I was like, I know he don't think I'm gonna sit here and read this whole fucking bio. He is out
No.
of his mind. I
Oh,
said that shit is
uh,
like a whole book. I said
no.
no. Let me just
Uh,
wait till I see him till we do
no,
the
no, no,
show,
no.
and you can tell me everything that you need to tell us and everything that you want to tell us. Because see, leave it to me.
Yeah, that
I'll
was just
read
for
it.
you to draw
No,
questions
listen,
from.
listen. I'll read it one way and it'll come out a whole nother way. And so, I read one way. It's like I'm dyslexic. I'll read it one way and it'll come out a whole different way. Because listen,
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm a hot mess. I'm a hot
Oh,
mess.
good.
But
Oh, good.
listen,
I just
see,
appreciate being here.
and I'm happy to have you here with me and my people. They'll be coming in slowly.
Okay.
Um, so first, I want to tell you that I'm gonna ask you 16 questions,
Okay.
right? And I call it 16 bars. You take your
Okay.
time, relax. We just gonna have fun, and we just gonna chit chat and get to know each other. All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds
Sounds
like
good.
a plan, right? So now my first question, I always ask my guests, "How was your day?"
Oh wow. Today was interesting. Really inside all day. We were just talking about the snow, and you were
Mm-hmm.
talking about New York. It really doesn't impact things like it does here in Maryland. Where in
Right.
Maryland, hey, we shut down, and they already shut us down tomorrow. So it was pretty much a quiet day, kind of doing some creating and just
How many
chilling.
inches? How many inches of snow?
Ooh,
None.
about a foot. We got about a
Y'all
foot.
got about a foot of snow?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We had snow this morning. It was like a little dusting of, and that was it. It's over. Me ain't get no
Oh no.
snow. It's over, and it's over already.
Yeah. We snowed in, cars covered, all that stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Let me see who's
So
that. Miss Tamika, she's here. She's listening in. My girl, thanks Tamika for listening. I'm telling you, I can't. Nothing goes well around here without Tamika. You don't understand. Stuff be
hey,
fucking up around here without Tamika. I can't wait. I'm
good,
telling you,
good.
I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for her page and get her computer fixed. I'm telling you, cause she
Yeah.
she need her computer fixed. All right, so here we go.
All right.
I'm gonna ask you these questions. So we're gonna start, okay?
All right.
All right, question number one. What inspired you to pursue a career in hip hop and poetry?
Wow. I'm gonna say hip hop itself. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually had another career.
Mm-hmm.
I've served in the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
military medicine,
Mm-hmm.
um, and hip hop was like that backdrop. When you join as young as I did, you don't necessarily have all of the faculties and confidence you should have. So hip hop, like it was edgy, it was in your face, it could be subtle, so you could really that drew me to it had talked about real substance stuff in some ways, and it entertained in others. And so I started writing poetry as a child,
Mm-hmm.
and this over the years I can just continue to write. So sometimes when I was away in the service, instead of just sitting, I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's funny how certain individuals' minds work, because with me, there was times I had to slow myself down, because there are times I would speak in rhyme if I didn't catch myself. And it was
Right.
a little irritating. I mean, yeah, because I would just be rhyming.
Mm.
So when I finished that career, I kind of came back to hip hop. I started doing open mics. I think we talked about twisting
Right.
words, and
Right.
yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
put me on here in the DMV, and started doing open mics. And then when I was performing, so I just expected to just keep it right there.
Right.
Poetry, grown and sexy, stuff like that.
Right. Do you
But then,
remember your first poem? Do you remember your very first poem? Or
you
maybe
know,
your first poem at that you did at a show or anything like that? You remember your first poem?
I was gonna say, every first poem usually starts with roses is red and violets. Like
Yeah.
like a lot of people's
Yeah.
first poems. But no, I think during this, I had wrote this one song called Listen Up. And I
Okay.
used to do it for Black History programs, Juneteenth,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. King celebrations, and it
Okay.
was kind of social conscious, listen up to the things that I teach just for a moment, keep your minds off the streets. It was that, on the 1 and 2, pay attention in school, get an education, reduce the way they apply, segregate. So it was like that, back in that was like some of the first poetry, and that song, Listen Up, I would say it was one of the first ones that I performed on stage.
Okay. Cool.
So
How
that's
did it make you feel after you did that first? What was the feeling after you did that first piece and you know you know the first
you
piece?
know you
How did it
never
make you feel?
know. So great. Let me just start with great, because as soon as the beat drop, it's your first ever performance.
Mm-hmm.
Now at
Mm-hmm.
the time, Positive K, because this is late, early 2000s, because like I said, I'm a little older than I, and so in about 2000s, I remember Positive K was there, and the beat dropped, and the audience, they felt it, they got into it, and
Right.
you just start rhyming. So it was an incredible feeling. What was funny is my youngest son
Mm-hmm.
ran and jumped in my arms, and I remember I kept rapping. But afterwards, the manager for some of the other artists was like, "Hey, that was not cool. You're because you upstage the performers with the cuteness. Because all of a sudden, he jumps in my arms. I wasn't gonna toss him back, so I kept,
Right.
rapping,
Right. Right.
and so like all eyes on me, as Tupac, rest in peace, would have said there, because that's what it was. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a good
Wow.
feeling.
That's cool. I know
Big
for
stadium,
me.
Oceanside, California.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice size little amphitheater outdoor stadium. So it was real cool.
Right. I remember my first when I did my first poem. That was a long, 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 long time ago. I was so nervous.
Mm.
Like I had butterflies, and it was just. But I got through it.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah,
when I did my first erotic poem, oh my God, it was
yeah,
just my ears got red, my face got red. I felt real embarrassed, and I stopped in
yeah.
the mid poem. I was like, I can't do this, and everybody was like, No, you got to finish the poem, finish it. I had a guy
Hey,
come. I got one of the guys, one of the young men, because they're a lot younger than me. One of the young men came and sat next to my leg and was hugging my leg. And come on, Mona, you got to finish that.
hey, wow. Hey, can't beat that. That's good
Can't
stuff.
beat
Hey,
that. Can't beat it at
yeah,
all.
you got to finish that.
Right.
You left me hanging. So
Right. You left me hanging, bro. You got to finish
exactly.
that one. Come on, girl. Come on. No, he was calling me lady. Come on, lady. You got to finish that poem. It's crazy. All right, here we go. Question number 2. How did you choose the name Seeymoore Bell?
Oh wow. Somewhat interesting. Appreciate that question.
Mm-hmm.
Seymour was, wisdom was passed down to me from my grandfather, father, parents, and whatnot.
Right.
So as I would have these teachable moments, with my son, sometimes they would say, "Wow, Dad, you saw more, or see more." And then my
Mm-hmm.
grandfather, who raised me, sixth grade education, took me and my brother in, showed that you could live in the inner city and still come from a family and not necessarily match some of the stereotypes. And my grandfather's last name, Bell. So Seeymoore Bell. Because
Okay.
sometimes we do have to look beyond the superficial and do
Mm-hmm.
some deep dives before we make certain decisions. And so it's kind of that thing. You wanted to see a little more before you decided. And
Mm-hmm.
then, yeah. So it was like they started saying it in a funny way. So then I just said, hey, you know what? And the other reason I was looking for something to separate myself, because in that other career I had a decent level of success because of some incredible people that
Okay.
I work with. And
Okay.
I kind of wanted to see and do this separate from that. At some point, some of my colleagues and friends from that other life, they've found the Seeymoore Bell pseudonym and some of the stuff, but I kind of wanted to just do this separate from that, and then if people will find it fine. When I
Mm-hmm.
reveal the fullness of it, hey, and why
That's a
it.
dope analogy, though. That's very dope. That's dope from your grandfather. That's dope. Seymour,
Yeah,
because I see more. That's dope.
yeah. So that's how he would and that's how he would put in. Trust me,
Mm.
his teachable moments were prone to occur at any given time. So
Right, right.
so yeah.
Wow, that's dope.
So that's how the name came about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that, right?
Hey. Yeah,
I.
his to have had a sixth grade education
Uh-huh.
and the things that he stood for and the things that he did in our community. He was 90 something, and when I went home from overseas went home to his funeral. I
Mm-hmm.
remember we were sitting with some families after everything had settled,
Mm.
and they were telling me that just last week, because he 90 something and he
Mm-hmm.
just went into sleep. But
Right.
they were telling me just a week ago they saw him outside clearing debris
Mm-hmm.
from the sewage so the water could run down into the sewer. That's
Yeah.
just who he was. And I kind of said to myself, his level of health for that age, off the
Yeah.
chain, unbelievable. And I think it's because he came from that generation where they endured a
Yes.
lot of stuff that we didn't have to.
Yes.
And so that grit from that generation, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I can't, so big respect for him and
Right.
how he navigated and led a family,
Mm.
you know, um, and a lot of the families was like that on our block. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Wow, man, my grandmother. See, I'm mixed. I'm half Cuban, half black, half American Indian. My father's
Mm,
side, American Indian and Irish, and all of them. Well, all the men, they all died from alcoholism because that's the Irish in them, right? But my
mm-hmm.
grandmother lived to be 99. My great grandmother lived to be 105. Blue, the greenest eyes, American Indian with the greenest eyes,
Wow. Hmm.
and my mother's side, my grandfather my uncle rode a bike up until he was like 90 something years old. And so there's kind of like a longevity thing in my family too. So,
Right.
because
Right.
that generation, yeah, I don't know what it is about that generation. They're smart, strong people, man.
Hey,
Very strong people.
you know,
Yes.
they came from those sharecroppers.
Yep.
You think
Yep.
about the croaker sacks and some of the stuff from African history, or I should say slave history.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you know I remember this old rhyme. Some can't remember the croaker sack, no matter how hot it hung from the back of slaves, and we
Mm-hmm.
complain after working 5
Right.
days. So I
Right.
was thinking
Right.
about their being forced and and stuff and so forth. And sometimes today you see what it is today.
Yeah.
Have to prod people to work sometimes, but
I'm telling you.
I get it. Just
Mm-hmm.
different age.
Yeah. Okay. Question 3. Can you describe your creative process when writing lyrics?
Yeah. So it varies.
Okay.
Sometimes I will literally have a whole song drop. It's like it just download, and I have to feverishly get somewhere to start typing. And I'm not a fast type
Mm.
either, so I have to get somewhere, write, type, or whatever it is. And then there's sometimes I'm inspired by something I see,
Right.
whether it be a good thing, whether it be something that needs to be addressed that's not so good, because I love how hip hop, especially in the golden age, took issues that were hidden and it revealed it.
Mm.
So um, if I'm inspired by his incident or something, sometimes the words just come together. Most of the time it's pretty effortless. There are
Mm-hmm.
some times that I have to, like words. There's some wordsmithing involved, but for the most part, it's one that I hear music quite often,
Mm-hmm.
and and then sometimes I write. It doesn't make sense at first.
Okay.
Then I'll start to shape it and say, okay, so what message were you hearing that you need to bring out from what you've written. What was the
Right.
essence of it, and then
Mm-hmm.
go from there. So it's different. Yeah, sometimes if a really good feeling hits, I'll write something that's just express that, So it
Mm-hmm.
varies. It
Do you write
varies.
erotic poetry?
I have written a couple because
Mm-hmm.
you kind of want to be able to, but I would never categorize myself, and I'm not saying that because in a judgy sense.
Okay.
It's just something I um haven't done a lot of, but I and that one I did purposefully
Okay.
to see if I could and how it would come out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but like I think each poet that I've heard, whether it be erotic, the inspiration that enables them to bring it forward with the impact. Because yeah, believe me, I've been in some and I started to get a little heated.
Right. Right.
you know, because it's a dope form of the genre, the whole collection of different types of poetry. But I've only written a couple, and I think I did one once or maybe twice, but that's about the extent of that
Okay.
that for me. Yeah,
Oh boy. I'm an
and
I'm an erotic poet. That's why I was
I
just
know.
asking
Hey,
how old.
hey, believe me, I've listened. I've listened to some. Matter of fact, even yeah, that last one, I think
Uh-huh.
you all put some clips up,
Yeah, yeah,
and I took a listen.
yeah.
Then I took a drink of water. Then I listened a little. I
Right, right, right.
listened. No,
And I write my poems so that they're funny. So they're erotic, but there's always funny stuff in the mix of my poetry because I'm funny. I like to tell a joke or two.
yeah,
It's
I
just
did.
it's
I
just in
did
my
hear the laugh.
deliverance. It's just in my deliverance.
Right,
So because
right.
what it does for me is it helps me to relax, and then in return, it makes the audience like, oh shit, Mona's funny as shit, and it makes
Mhm.
them relax. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha. Humor,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
If they are feeling, I understand exactly what you say. The next thing you know, they're hooked to enjoying
Yep.
themselves and the art.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Amongst other
yeah.
things that I do, because I do a whole lot, but this is about you right now. So,
Hey, well, hey, we have talked, like you said, and I
right, right.
really appreciate it. You have, and you contribute a lot. You help other artists, and that's
Hmm.
a beautiful thing. Because let's just say
And I do that on
that's
the
not
show.
always the thing.
I just, I just love what I do. I love what I do.
Yeah,
Everything that I do. No
yeah,
matter, because that's how I was raised. You
right,
help people out. You treat people the way
exactly.
you want to be treated.
Be treated exactly.
Yeah.
Those golden rules, man. I tell you,
Hmm.
treat people how you want to be treated.
Right.
You know, it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I get that from my grandparents, from my grandmother. You talk to people the way you want to be talked to. You respect people the way you want to be respected, and you treat people the way you want to be treated.
It's funny as we talk about this. I had a young lady. She presented to me one time,
Mhm.
and she was talking about like you all get on us about how you all were versus how we are, senses of entitlement. And then
Mhm.
she hit me with something that blew my mind.
Uh huh.
She said, any of our entitlement is because of you. And at first I had to sit back. I said, what did you just say to me? And so she said, it's because of you guys. What
Mhm.
did you always say to us? You said to us, I do this so you won't have to suffer the way I
Right.
did or the way
Right.
my grandfather did. And then
Right.
her next sentence to me was, maybe it was your suffering that made you what you are, who you are. So you alleviate all that from us for the most part, answer all our questions, do our homework for us, pay us for grades that should have been reasonable wages for us even stand.
Mm.
And she just broke this stuff down. And I was like, okay.
Couldn't
I
even say
haven't been
nothing. You had.
inspired to write about that yet, but it hit me. But you know what I did?
Mm.
I said to her, because this was in the military constructs. I said to her, I said, I asked her, you on a power suit? She said, yes. I said, I would like for you to wear a power suit, and I'm going to put you in front of some folks that are a lot senior to you, but they're not going to know that. They're going to think you're from some sort of company and we brought you in. And I
Right.
want you to share that generational leadership, generational curse, generational perspective that
Mm-hmm.
you just shared with me, because I think for us to get it, we're going to have to meet you all. We're going to have to, like, I had to adapt versus different
You have
styles.
to meet them in the middle.
Right,
You got to meet in the
right. Meet
middle.
them in exactly. There's a
You
way
got
to
to meet
do it.
them where they're at,
Right,
and we
right,
have to be open minded because a lot of us, our generation, are not open minded. Be
right,
like, what the fuck are you talking about?
right,
That shit don't even make sense because we're not even listening.
right. That's true too. And you just hit. I just went into listen mode to allow
Mm-hmm.
you to finish what you
Mm,
because yeah, that is so true.
yeah.
That is true.
And I'm not saying that I do that all the time because even when my grandkids talk to me, I'll be like, blah, 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 blah. I don't understand that, nah, 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 nah. And then one of them will say, Grandma, listen to me. Okay, I'm
hmm
sorry.
Yeah,
I may not
there's
agree, but I'm going to listen, you
yeah,
know.
and to interact, lead, work with, whatever you call it, you almost
Hmm.
have to
You have to.
um, appreciate the generational differences, embrace them,
Yes.
and figure out how to bring it all together. Because I've learned so much from a generation or two behind me.
And let me
Uh,
tell you, the generations ahead of us, they're so different.
yeah,
We're
and
like the
maybe that's what I meant. The
yeah,
younger I've learned so
the
much
younger
from. Yeah,
generation.
yeah,
Listen,
right.
because our generation, because you and I are in the same generation, our generation, we didn't talk back to our parents. We was home by the time the street lights came on. We knew the rules.
hmm
These
Now,
kids, they don't
yeah,
have no fucking respect.
wow.
Like
Now
I've heard my
it's
grandson, I don't mean to cut you off. My
oh, no, no,
grandson
no,
have
no. It's
said
good.
one time he was talking to somebody on the phone and he was cursing. And I looked at him and I said, if you curse one more time, I'm going to punch you right in your jaw. He said, Grandma, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, you don't see there's an adult here? You know, because they
Wow.
don't even see that anymore. They don't see
Yeah,
that. It ain't like us. I'm going to tell you something. God, man, I'll be pleased with my mother. My mother just passed away 2 years ago.
yeah. You took
57
yeah.
something years old. Not once have I ever raised my voice to my mother. Not once did I ever curse in front of my mother.
hmm
And, you know, even as I got older and she would try to talk to me, her and her cronies would be trying to talk to me about certain things like sex and boyfriends and stuff. And I'd be like, can y'all please? And they would laugh because they already knew. I'd be like, please, there's a kid in the room. Can y'all please? I'd be like, Mom, please tell your friends to stop. I would get so traumatized because
hmm
of that. I had that much respect. These
hmm
kids today don't have that kind of respect. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Granddad co-mingled
Mm.
respect, and this is what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely had structure and there was
Yes.
respect.
Yes.
However, he would say to us sometimes, he allowed us to speak freely and he would give us that room. But and you know why he said he did it? He
Mm-hmm.
said, I have your best interest in mind. I
Mm-hmm.
have to prepare you to not necessarily be provoked to an emotional response by training you how to negotiate, have a conversation. And I said, Granddad, did you really just get a sixth grade education? Where are you picking this stuff up from? Because we did some of the same with ours,
Mm-hmm.
but the respect was still there. And it's funny to hear them see the younger generation now and say, we're glad that we had that firm hand,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we did allow them to express themselves
Right.
because he had this thing, I'm sending you out into the world. And some of
Mm-hmm.
those people are not going to have your best interest in mind. And if
Mm-hmm.
they can, like he say stuff like the first no. Now he was talking about when it come down to ambition and getting a
Oh, I
job, but
understand that.
yeah, the first no might not. That might just be to see how badly you want it in some
Right.
cases.
Right.
So, do you give up with the first no? Speaking of that, that was a hip hop moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
LL Cool J, Crush Groove, No More Auditions, Box, and he auditioned. So
Mm,
when I later on as I was growing and I remembered that sometimes when I was nervous about going into a situation, this was
mm,
my love for hip hop,
mm,
I would have that thought like box, I'm doing this. I'm gonna
right.
give it that best shot, that best effort. So it's kind of
Mm,
funny, like we're talking generations, we're talking, but then and in the undertone hip hop because
yep.
yeah, that part about negotiating conversation and pushing through some doors where you have to, you
Mm-hmm.
know, got
Yeah.
that was a great scene to show that.
Yep.
But yeah, so
Okay. Question number 4. Who are your biggest musical influences?
wow. Okay, so growing up in Motown, I gotta say I love the Motown artists. In
Okay.
fact, writing a song called "So Much Trouble." Now, "So Much Trouble," the hook was actually inspired by Chuck D of Public Enemy from
Mm,
"Welcome to the Terror Dome" when he says, "I got so much trouble on my mind, refuse to lose."
mm.
So this one goes, I got so much trouble. And then it goes trouble, trouble, trouble. And then I actually say Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man. No, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, Trouble Man Time. And
Okay.
I'm referencing that Motown essence of what Marvin Gaye talked about and what's going on and
Mm,
pulling it forward to the day with some relevant stuff. But so Motown music and hip hop, I would say definitely LL Cool J, definitely Public Enemy, some
okay.
X Clan,
Mm-hmm.
um, Prince, and Michael Jackson. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
when you have two great entertainers, one being able to play every instrument, so a lot of in different musical influence. I love jazz, so
Okay.
I listen to some of the jazz that my grandparents and parents listened to, as well as some of the contemporary stuff. So,
Okay.
but in hip hop, definitely LL Cool J, Rakim. Yeah, let's see who else I'm because I know I'm leaving some folks out, but those were some of the main ones because I think, like I said, when you're coming of age and when you're growing and not having a father growing up, I literally have said that there were times I used hip hop and martial arts or whatever it was to fill in areas that
Okay.
were lacking. So lots of musical influence. Coogee rap and was it DJ Polo? When I was 5 years old, I realized there was a road. At the end, I would win lots of pots of gold. And when he goes on to say, "I never took a break, never made a mistake. I took
Mm.
time to create because there's money to make to be a billionaire. So I worked for years." I mean, come on now.
Wow.
He's like giving you a
Wow.
blueprint. Some nights I shedded
Yep.
tears, but I said my prayers. He's giving you a whole blueprint. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I ask myself, what happened? Because those musical influences, what happened? That was knowledge and that was empowerment. Saying
Yeah.
that if you practice and put, so again, connecting a lot of stuff
Yeah.
because, in music, there is sometimes a web, is not a linear thing, it's creation. So, but yeah,
Okay.
those are the artists, the biggest influences.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My influences would have to be because I'm more poetry. Nikki Giovanni. Oh, I was
Yeah.
devastated when she passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hurt. My
I
heart
know
was
I sent you,
hurt.
I think I sent you, I was like, we had just talked about
Just
her.
talked about her because
So
I
yeah,
was trying to get her to come on the show so I
right,
could
right.
interview her. And you text me, and my other friend William Washington, he texted me. He's like, "Yo, we was just talking
Yeah,
about her." I was like, "I know." I was like, "That shit hurt my heart." And
yeah.
Michelle Andiacello, Sonia
Hmm.
Sanchez. Those are my favorites. Those are
Right.
my influential. Those are the reason. Nikki Giovanni was the reason I write. I got a signed book by her. That she had a book signing a few years ago in New York, and I went. I got on
Yeah,
that
yeah. I
line.
remember that tour. I remember
Mm-hmm.
that tour 'cause she came here too, came here as well, and Bus Boys and Poets, and a lot of people
Yeah.
showed up for that.
Yeah,
So
and I got
yeah.
I got a couple of pictures with her because a friend, one of her sorors, her pledged sisters,
Hmm.
um, was a friend of mine. So she was there too, and everybody was talking, and it was just, and I was just so mesmerized by this woman, man.
Wow.
Just wanted to just listen to her.
Sound like
Um,
you could almost do like a tribute show to
I
her.
could
Like,
if I know I
yeah,
could if I wanted to, but
yeah.
it's too much work. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
All right, number five. Where we at? Where we at? Okay. What themes do you explore in your music and your poetry?
I explore. There's love, poetry, and music. There's
Okay.
I have some social conscious music. Um, I definitely on this first project because I my plan was one and done,
Okay.
one project and done to fulfill something that I always wanted to do. And later on, I got to remember to thank some incredible people who made this happen, despite some of the things that are working against
Okay.
that work against you in some ways.
Mhm.
So there's social conscious, there's love stuff there, and when I say love, not all romantic love like that. I had this one song, it was kind of like called "Good Things," and it
Mhm.
was just talking about the good things in my life.
Mhm.
So that was familial. That was just family and kind of taking the inventory of where I was, where I am today, and and then family as well. So how to support them in this very different stage of life. So a lot of the theme will come or is inspired by those type
Got it.
things.
Mhm.
Uh, so and then there's just some bravado, just braggadocious, kind of fun stuff because some of the engineers and folks was like, can you do a song that doesn't have like a serious like meaning to it? And so I did a couple and it was
Okay.
fun. Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the types of themes and real stuff and then just some feel good stuff from time to time.
Right. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
few other poems outside of erotica, but it
Hmm.
always goes right back.
Back to
Goes right. I be trying to do stuff that's outside, and it always winds up.
I go right back, huh? Wow.
Yeah, can't help it. It's what I do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, number
So,
6. How do you feel hip hop has evolved since you started?
whew, whew, wee. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I go? There.
Yeah, I know,
All
right?
right. I don't know whether I start with the stuff that I think was done by design and intentionally because of the power of certain aspects of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
like some of the rhymes that I was just doing. Imagine that empowerment, from that Coogee rap. I, some hip hop artists feel like we're in a state of just flux and shock.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's still innovators that are doing some incredible stuff, and now you see not only a faith movement with
Okay.
your D1s and people like that. It's just it went from where it was it was party stuff. There was stuff that gave you information that not might not be in textbooks.
Right.
You know, and so when I if I want to dance or be entertained, there's some stuff out here that I enjoy.
Right.
Um, but in as far as influencing and the culture, I'm thankful for Rock the Bells. I'm thankful for some of the folks that are out there that are still with the new stuff, trying to still kind of infuse back into some of the stuff that was the essence of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Aspects of hip hop to me was like the Underground Railroad. It was
Okay.
bringing vital information sometimes that was not in textbooks,
Right.
and I would credit that some of the wokeness between the internet
Mm.
and the expansion of aspects of hip hop brought cultures together and
Yes.
cross culture.
Right.
So um, then all of a sudden you had these tragic deaths, and all of a sudden everything became the very things that, okay, so I had this one line,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say it, and I said I might put a little disclaimer because I said something about holding up the legacies of King and X,
Uh-huh.
vice facing what we got next. Now, in no way was I trying to disrespect the
Right.
legacy of any one of those two. Not
Okay.
ever.
Okay.
Some of the first books that were given to me as a child or that I read are the teachings of those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Their inspiration lives on. However, we got some today stuff that requires some today attention, and it can't always all be mumble. It can't always be, coming at you. That's some of
Right.
what they want the provocations, the emotional provocations that, everything became angry and, don't get me wrong, working out in the gym, love that stuff. Love
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. But when it comes down to certain discussions and things that issues that need addressing,
Right.
I feel like hip hop is in a very interesting state. Some say free fall, then it
Ah.
rebounds. But yeah, I find a lot of people listening to Golden Age hip hop
Yeah.
still, even though they rock with the stuff that's being played today.
Not me.
Um,
One or two of today's music, but I listen to throwback. My
yeah,
favorite
yeah,
group was the Crash Crew. That was my favorite
okay,
group. Was
okay,
the Crash Crew and Furious Five and
yeah,
Fearless Four. All
yeah,
old school.
yeah. Think about like some of the messaging, like some of the ones that really hit me hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to always leave out that I have degrees and all that kind of stuff because but guess what? Even hip hop inspired that because when I heard Chuck D, I did not have a degree. I did not have formal education.
Okay.
And then I heard Chuck D, what you do, get your head ready instead of getting physically sweaty. When I get mad, I put it down on the pad, give you something
Wow.
that you never had. So when I heard that, I'm like, okay, what you do, get your head ready instead of getting physically sweaty. And
Mm.
so those were that's what I
Wow.
mean. That's one reason why I returned to do this project. It's almost like I'm saying thank you
Mm-hmm.
for something that, yes, I was in halls that some people from the hood would consider, oh, he done sold out. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's
Okay.
gonna come to light soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably just said it. So some people will dig, and then I'm somewhat of a unknown, so maybe they won't. But if it were not for that when you forget the roots of where you come. I never forgot that. Matter of fact, coming up in Detroit, and I know this has to do. Let me look at the question again and make sure.
How do you feel
But
hip hop
because
has
hip
evolved
hop,
since you started?
this is all evolving conversation. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
all evolving conversation. But that's how it's evolved. That's what it was saying. So
Mm-hmm.
what information are we getting today that and maybe they're getting it from someplace else. I don't know, but I don't hear a lot in hip hop. J. Cole, certain artists put some stuff out there. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's a place for it
I like
all, but
Kendrick. I love Kendrick though. I love
yeah,
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick's
Love Kendrick
some
Lamar.
stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, and I don't get me wrong. Like I said, I like some of the music when I'm out dancing and stuff that
Mm-hmm.
the other artists are putting out. When it
Mm-hmm.
comes down to brass tacks, getting stuff done, um, communicating.
Right.
When you think about three times dope and some of the different love songs that came out, or the different there, even that has evolved.
Right.
When I LL broke the ceiling with I Need Love,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just and the things that he was speaking about, and that some of that type of hip hop speaks about. I think that relationships, it's just interesting how angry, how quick people are to, pop, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And before, I just don't think that was the essence of some of what was being said
Right.
and inspired by certain hip hop. So,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Let me try to wrap that up
Uh-huh.
because that's a huge question with
It
a
is right.
lot. When I think so many different the true worth of a race must be measured by the character of its woman. That didn't even
Mm,
say the black race. It said the
mm,
true. So when you hear that by Mary Clyde Bethune, but I heard that again in a Public Enemy song. So
yeah.
that says where the queen should be. Like where to us, for themselves. That the true worth, the the maturation, the bringing up of the future generations. That
Mm-hmm.
worth, she went ahead and said it. That because when we out working, whether it was in the fields or whether it was wherever, the
Right.
job,
Right.
they were doing a thing, and somehow all of that, you know, uh, got hornswoggled, got hoodwinked, quoting,
Yeah.
somebody.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
and like I said, I think some of it was intentionally done because they saw the power of what hip hop could do.
Mm.
That's my
Okay.
two. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry about
Well,
that. That one.
that's
Whew,
okay. Don't worry about it. Take your time. Get your breath.
man,
Breathe a
man.
little
No,
bit. Let it
it's just
breathe.
no.
Let me say this. If you're listening in and you have any questions, please put it in the chat. I'm here with guest Seeymoore Bell, throwback old school hip hop artist. If you want to donate, Cash App, Uptown with Mona. If you want to be interviewed, contact Mona Baudet at Gmail. Uptown with Mona at gmail.com, or you can email me at mona.baudet125 at gmail.com. All right. Next question.
All right, all right. Let's see.
Can you tell us about your latest project or album?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So this first project is
Mm-hmm.
untitled at this point. I just been writing in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think the entire project will be done by the summer, and then you have to make that decision. There's this scheme that says that release singles and get the traction, and then release the album. So I
Right.
did a little studying for the philosophy. How are folks doing it in an age where you're getting about 4 to 8 cent on the stream?
Right.
But and so so this summer the entire project should be released.
Mm-hmm.
It is purposefully all over the place. There's rock on it, there's jazz. Cause like I said, it's one. I thought I was gonna be one and done, but I have been asked by a couple mentors in the music industry, did I have a second project in me? A few people have asked me that they want to do tracks.
Right.
Um, so I want to get the first project out, and then I'll make a decision about what's going to happen next. But yeah, so I started with Real Men a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Real Men, and that's should have sent you some of the tracks, but that's just not again. Well, let me finish the answering the question. So that's
Okay.
why I'm with the project right now. So I have about
Okay.
7 more singles to release, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna make the decision about marketing, promotion, and some other things that could, because when you release music, you can't expect instant coffee. You gotta you know, do what you gotta do, and maybe I get
Yeah.
out there and do some performing and see what type of momentum. Because I just love it. I love the rhyme. I love what it's about, and so that's where I'm at. So um, got some gigs coming up here, some different shows and opportunities to perform coming up. I appreciate this opportunity to come
Mm-hmm.
on here with you on Uptown
Sure.
with Mona.
Uptown with Mona.
Yeah, so I'm starting to book some things out. I had one
Mm-hmm.
thing happen. I was supposed to perform New Year's Eve, but unfortunately, with the weather and everything, turned
Mm-hmm.
out that a lot of people just didn't come out to that event. So the event coordinator called it instead. But yeah, performing, some marketing, some releasing of some more singles,
Okay.
and just have some fun with it.
How
That's
many
my that's
singles are on that EP? How many singles is on there?
so total. It'll probably be about 20.
Oh, it's more than an EP. That's a fucking
It
album.
is. It is.
That's an
You know,
album.
it is, and I said I got to create a stopping point for this project,
Mm-hmm.
and probably then after that, whenever I feel like it, I may release something. And if I'm
Right.
inspired, this is me again finishing something that I started some time ago that I never thought in a million years I would have the opportunity to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's also my gratitude for something you know, that ran right there with the formality what I was learning, but
Okay.
the true interactions with that inspired this project is to say thank you to the
Mm-hmm.
incredible artists that poured in. And so um,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
summer, and when I say this summer, probably July or August.
Well,
That's
make sure
when
you let me know so I can cop
I will
that.
definitely do that.
I could
Will definitely.
definitely
Matter of
cop
fact, I
that.
have a single coming out
Mm-hmm.
on January 24th. And it's just something like it's called Something About the Ghetto. And,
Send me a
you know,
link so I can copy it, so I can buy it from
will
you.
do.
You know,
Will do.
definitely. One of my tracks. I'm a house music artist, so
Yeah, I heard some of it.
I have a lot of stuff all over the internet on Bandcamp, on Track Source, on and a lot of my stuff, my stuff overseas, a lot of South Africa and
Okay.
England and UK. And matter of fact, there's a guy working on a little, I think it's 3 or 4 track EP for me with me from Russia. I'm like,
Wow. See,
I didn't know they had house music in Russia. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah.
And
Hey, now
he's
you
dope.
hit on something.
He's
Yes.
dope.
Right, right.
You
And
know.
and that's the other thing about this music journey and this project. As I sometimes, I don't look at the numbers all the time. I mean, I'm not Kendrick, I'm not, but what I do look at is the places.
Right.
And when you see that someone in right now
Right.
in Ukraine is playing your song, you know what's
Yep.
going on in Ukraine.
Yep.
Somehow to I don't know if it's just to unwind for a second. I've seen because you get the stats and the countries. That is just incredible. That's
Mhm.
so many different countries. I have this one song called "I'll Be Back." It's
Mhm.
kind of interesting. Really rocking it down in Russia. Oh no, I mean down in Mexico, boy, big time.
Mexico.
So yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I saw cities in Mexico that I didn't even know it existed.
Mhm.
So when you see that, it's like you're able to touch, in a sense, like the universe from
Yes.
a laptop, a
Right.
microphone, and
Yep.
and a few things, and if it helps to brighten or enlighten someone's day
Mhm.
or way or something like that,
Mhm.
then I just need to finish this project and
Right.
then just decide that I'm gonna just keep doing it whenever I'm inspired to do
Or
it,
just take a
just
break.
for
Take a
yeah,
break and
yeah,
breathe and see what happens
yeah,
with that album.
right,
And me and my
yeah.
stuff is underground, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
You tell
underground
me.
house. Yeah, underground house.
Yeah, mine. I release it. It's on all the streaming platforms, the
Mhm.
Apple and Spotify and was it Deezer, which I had never heard of, and all these different
I ain't never heard of that.
streaming platforms and stuff.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. So next question, number 8. What role does storytelling play in your work?
a lot, a lot. And what song is it? I have a song that I'm working on now called "Mistaken Identity,"
Mhm.
and it's a story song. And if in it, because again, shout out to Slick Rick, the ruler. I listen to a lot of one of the greatest hip hop storytellers that is, because he's
Right.
still here.
Mhm.
Um, so storytelling, mistaken identity is a story, and it walks you through a few scenarios. A lot of my music is stories. It's not just themes of some of them is stories. So hopefully they're relatable, so people can either see a aspect or a piece of themselves in it, and just get from wherever they are to better is the hope. Um, so yeah, there's definitely some storytelling because
Okay.
that's that relatability. Everyone has one. When you go through, your trials and stuff like that. It
Mm-hmm.
said that the tests become your testimonies or whatever that saying is, and you tell the story because
Right.
hopefully it can inspire someone else and just help them. I don't
Okay.
know if they at the end of their road tie or not. You know what I'm saying? That
Right. Right.
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Mm. Oh, I just wanted to say I just see my cousin Corey on here. Let me tell you something. My cousin is a dope. His music is so dope. And I'm like, I just cop one. I got a track from him to use on my for my next season to start using on my intro
Okay.
music and my outro music. It's so dope, so dope. So I just wanted to shout Corey out, and
Eh,
he does beats. And I don't have his information, but as soon as I get it, I'm gonna put it up so y'all can cop from him and get some of them
Okay.
dope ass beats from him because he's incredible. I never really paid attention. And then one day I'm listening, I'm like, oh shit, what is that? What is that? Can I
Those
have
guys
that?
killed. Huh?
Right.
Okay.
Can I have that? Can I have that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Next question. I'm sorry, I digressed a little bit.
Oh no. Hey,
All right. Number 9. How do you handle writer's block or creative slump?
most of the time I just walk away.
Okay.
I just walk away, put it down.
Right.
Don't I don't force it
Mm-hmm.
because usually it will come.
Okay.
There are sometimes that those blocks are distractions by real things, and then there's sometimes it's just you get to a point and you just have to kind of put the pen or the typing down for a second and
Mm-hmm.
let it come to fruition. And I find that the it seems to work a little better when you do that. Sometimes when you sit there and try to force it,
Right.
it just doesn't come across the same. So those are the ways. I definitely there are two places I go sometimes to just try to commune and see, and that is water. I'll find me a patch of water, and even if I don't fish, because I do like to fish,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just sit, and sometimes it'll happen then because I'm just out there. It's quiet,
Okay.
and then there are times that I go to rooftops. Believe it or not, a couple people say
Okay.
you're not going up there to jump, are you? But
Yeah.
it's like I'll go to a rooftop on a starlit night or whatever, and it's just peaceful. And sometimes the finish will come across then. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice and quiet, I guess, over there because it ain't like that over here. Can't go on the roof. They locked all the roofs in New York, so you can't go on the roof.
Is that right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, number 10. What message do you hope to convey through your art?
Um. Wow. Wide range. Wide range. The main thing is it's supportive, it's positive, and
Okay.
hopefully helpful.
Okay.
Those are the types of things. It hopefully is mentally stimulating to a degree so that you can give thought to some of the things in the messaging. And like I give you a couple of examples. I have a song called Tougher Son,
Okay.
and it says to have balance and overcome challenge, to soar to heights that you never imagined. Then one of the other hooks is just because you had a bad dad doesn't mean you're going to turn out to be a bad dad. So in that messaging, I'm really going at the abandonment issues in
Mm-hmm.
us as men, because a lot of times when men are abandoned, they take one or two roads, and those two roads are either "woe is me," "I'll never amount to anything," because sometimes that's what we're told,
Right.
or they'll take the road that I want to just be honest and say that I took, which was the achievement road. But either of those two in excess can still
Mm-hmm.
be damaging
Right.
because you don't if you can't relate to your family, relate to the people around you. So those are two messages. And that particular song, wow, 381,000. I'm a little guy doing stuff from a laptop,
Wow.
381,000 listens. So
Wow.
when you see something like that, you're hoping that some of those men just because you had a bad dad, don't shy away from being present. Don't allow yesterday's pain to um, too heavily impact who you
Mm-hmm.
are today. So those are some of the messages. And when I say real men express and real men feel, real men open up, it's unhealthy to conceal. We're killing
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. Why are we killing ourselves? Because a lot of they're telling us you're this, you're that, you ain't this, you ain't that, and so folks are trying to figure out. So I would just put some stuff out there to try to say, hey, this is the journey. This is what I've either gone through, seen other men or women go through.
Right.
I message it in there in a way that hopefully is entertaining and and alleviate some of that stuff, so they could just be that father, be that husband, be that whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a plan. That sounds good.
Hey, thanks, appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 11. How has your background shaped your music?
Ooh, I think I
Grandfather.
kind of share. Yeah, I think I kind of shared with
Yep,
the
yep, you did.
the abandonment.
Uh-huh.
Even the achievement some, because you know what's sad? Okay, some people will presume because you've achieved, you've forgotten where you've come from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I'm gonna share this. Kind of hate sometimes sharing stuff. I was in a restaurant one time, and the
Okay.
server was a young, kid, college bound.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take your achievement and success and pay it forward, because he was so good, we struck up a conversation. And
Okay.
so then I led him on to, what I used to do. And because of that, I have pretty good reference. Um, I'm pretty decent reference. So
Okay.
why stop it with just what it does for me? If that young man is going for a job or needs a letter to enter college,
Right.
take that and do that with your
Mm-hmm.
success. So that's a whole different message. Why do we look at each other as competition? Sometimes I feel like we're our worst enemies and cutting ourselves down before others even have an opportunity to do it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so that's how my background, whether it be from because initially the success was excessive. I was
Okay.
one of those for sure.
Okay.
And so that's how my message, as you find balance, you share the message of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're alienating people in your home or different stuff like that, by being on either extreme, or if you're self-deprecating because you lack esteem,
Right.
and so that's how my messaging has, I learn it and share it, learn
Okay.
it, share it, so
You're
others
supposed to.
can
You're
hopefully,
supposed to
yeah,
do that.
you
You're
know,
supposed to do it. We're supposed to share, especially with the new generation, you know?
yeah.
All right, number 12. Are there any collaborations you're particularly proud of?
Oh wow. From a jazz perspective,
Okay.
there are a couple artists that I work with. Cord Martin plays saxophone,
Mm-hmm.
and Rick, uh, what's his name is called? It's almost there.
Okay.
I know his last name is Rodriguez. He
Okay.
played the keys.
Okay.
That was a beautiful. I really appreciated what they brought to that jazz track.
Okay.
I have a collaboration coming up with a gospel artist. I hope we follow through on it. And I'm not saying that because he's being shady or anything like that, but Mr. G Reality wrote a song many years ago that really helped me.
Okay.
So one day I was on Instagram and I liked something he had shared, and I shared with him, "Hey, yo, your song really helped me through a rough patch."
Right.
So then he came back after chopped it up a little bit. Then he came back with "Hey, I do features," and I'm like, "Okay." And so I'm looking forward to that because for what his music did for me at a time when I was at a very very low point, to
Right.
even have the opportunity to have him on a track is real cool. Um, So those are some of the collaborations. But then, this might be that opportunity to say from this whole project is a collaborative like effort. I could not
Okay.
have done this without Elijah Harvey.
Mm.
Um, he's the one that first came up to me and said, "Hey, you got some pretty dope lyrics there. I'm gonna help you get better." And he followed through on this project. Then he introduced me to Matthew Shell and Eric Fredrickson.
Mhm.
They mix and master the
Mhm.
music. So, and jazz wise, let me see something. Matthew Shell he's an incredible jazz artist, and he works with other incredible jazz artists. So
Mhm.
to even have gone to one of his listening parties and work with him on tracks. Matter of fact, the song "Higher," he composed the main portion of the track, and that's
Okay.
where that jazz and sax came in to
Mhm.
kind of bring out that message that I was saying. So those are some of the names off of. There's I'm gonna just say B. Rowlett. He did a dope logo for me. I'm gonna
Mhm.
call him that for now, but colleague that I know. He did up a really nice logo. So this whole project has been a collaborative effort. So those are the artists and individuals that help all of this come to fruition because
I am
couldn't do it by
looking
myself.
forward. I can't wait to hear this album.
Hey,
I'm really
thanks.
interested in hearing this album.
Now there's 16 tracks out there. Like Higher is already out there.
Well, you got to
There's
send me links. Send me some
I
links. I will
will. I
listen
will do
to
that.
it.
Okay. I will do that.
You got to
I will
send me
do
some
that.
links. I'd like to listen to it, and I'll repost if you don't mind. If you'd like me to, I will post your stuff and
And same with you.
your links
Yeah.
and stuff. I don't really post a lot of my erotic stuff. I usually just post some of my other stuff, like my other music.
Hmm.
I keep it separate. I
Right.
don't know. I
Right.
just do. I don't know why. I've always been like that because when my mother was alive, she would be online, and I would always tell her, "Ma, you need to get off of Facebook. You're gonna make me block you." And she would laugh at me. And so
Yeah.
I said, "Ma, you got to get off of here because I can't. You're cramping my style over here." She's like, "Well, you're a grown woman," and I'm like, "No, I am the child in the room. I don't care."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can't. I couldn't do it. And even so now I'm used to that. It's like so I don't really post a lot of my erotic stuff. Every now and then I may put something up there or I may spit something and put it up, but I don't really I usually put like a lot of the house music stuff and a lot of them
Yeah.
cuz that's where I come from. I come from
Right.
hip hop. I grew up with hip hop and
Yeah, I know you told me. Yeah.
fell in love with house music.
Wow,
Yeah, that's how it was for me. But let's
man.
go. We are up to number 13. We're almost done. Damn. How do you engage with your fans and your audience?
And see, that's where right now I do it mostly through. I make these little videos, promo
Mm-hmm.
videos, but they're pretty meaningful, and they have definitely done some traction. I wanted to get the project together first, and then maybe invest in some marketing and promotion that would get out to more people.
Okay.
But thus far, I've worked a lot of videos. Uh, this helps. Platforms like what you're doing here. I've
Mm-hmm.
done a few podcasts and share some things. So and then whenever it shows like it's funny. I was at a restaurant not too long ago, and I guess some young man, he was sitting with his family, and I had on something, and he asked me. He says, "Hey, you look like this rap," and I said, "Oh wow." And then real men. So he asked me for
Mm.
my autograph. I mean, he's sitting at the table with his mom and dad. So it was like, of course, I went ahead and signed the autograph and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But those type of things, and then other ways, just when I'm out doing open mics or whatever.
Okay.
So really no formal. I'm looking for that and kind of had this strategy that I was using to where I am going to
Mm-hmm.
invest in a little marketing and promotion. But for right now, I do it through the imagery and the videos, and I do
Okay.
have quite a few out. I put them out on various social media platforms, and they get some pretty good hits, kind of
Mm.
to illustrate what I'm saying in the song.
Okay.
So the words and hopefully the visual kind of helps it all come together. So,
Okay. Okay. All right. Number 14. What challenges have you faced in the music industry?
well, as an independent thus far, I would say the interesting challenges that I see
Mm-hmm.
is how streaming works.
Okay.
You have these companies out there that offer, and if you're new to this, you don't know any better at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out you might have stepped into something and unleashed a whole herd of bots. And
Mm.
bots don't bring you any real fans or
Okay.
listeners. And they say it skews the numbers and all this
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff. But that seems to be an interesting gatekeeping process because, as artists, let's put it like this, and this is no disrespect intended whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
One reason, even when it's not reciprocated,
Right.
I've been very fortunate. I have some plans for the future. I've had a decent career that has enabled me to make a decent living.
Okay.
When I look at what you have to go through and some
Mm-hmm.
of the different hurdles, my heart goes out. So I'm always supporting other folks' stuff, even if it's just with a like, a share, or something like that. So that's enough. That right there, because you know, for these folks on Facebook, if you do run an ad,
Mm-hmm.
it's so many cent per like, or and so I just want people to hear the music. I didn't know that that was gonna you were gonna be charged like that way. So I just see the gatekeeping. I see wow, artists grossly underappreciated and underpaid with the stream unless they perform and sell merchandise.
Right.
Now they're putting these incredible words, almost like, can you imagine a Picasso or some Rembrandt, some of these paintings, if they were only worth a stream? And so I
Wow.
look at some of these incredible artists. I mean,
Wow.
art going to museums, so they and I so it, I tell you, I see the challenges. They
Mm-hmm.
may not be as poignant for me, but because I know everybody's trying to make a living, and
Right.
some folks to the point of need, some others to the point of greed.
Mm.
But you know, those are the things that I see. You got the shysters that offer, and I said I wasn't going to drop. I'm not going to drop names. I'm not going to do that. But
Don't.
you know
Don't.
why? I almost wanted to do it at one point. I won't do it on your platform. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. Period.
Right.
Because I would want other people to know that these people said that they were going to do something, didn't do it.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
see, for some, like say for instance, some people are able to write that loss
Mm-hmm.
off.
Mm-hmm.
Others suffer that loss
Right.
or losses
Uh-huh.
at the hands of these individuals. It
Mm.
blows my mind. So, I know there's shady stuff in every industry, but this is the stuff that I've just seen in a short little stint. The how that type of stuff works with the um, streaming versus 99 cent, $1.29
Mm.
versus when we sold albums and stuff. And sure, yeah, it was a pain sometimes to have to buy a whole album. We only like one or two songs.
Right.
But then you come to find out a lot of those artists weren't even getting the money either. So
Mm-hmm.
those same pitfalls, different day.
Yep.
Same pitfalls, different day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm independent and I'm underground and I do my own work. So yeah, I definitely understand that. I
yeah,
understand. It's rough. It's
yeah.
rough for us. It's rough, especially for
It
us.
is.
It's
It
rough.
is.
The hustle is real.
Right, right. It really is.
The hustle's real.
So that's why sometimes, like I said, uh, the reciprocation. I
Yeah.
sure. Do you appreciate it? Yes. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I know that some of those artists are literally they're entrepreneurs. That's what they do. And
Mm.
and to have COVID or something like that shut down the complete ability
Yep.
to earn a living,
Yep.
that's so yeah. I see the challenges. Um, and you try to do what you can. Just like, yeah, I told you I was gonna do something, and when
Yeah.
we finish, I'm
Right.
going
Right.
to do it because I appreciate what you do
Mm.
in sharing a platform. And I hear what you say. You said it at the beginning. Lonely. Well, I'm telling you, some of the people that you are interviewing, how you do this, big up to you.
Thank
And
you.
when I think about like I listen to Obi, and like, you had that I'm not worthy. Oh, because you had him on, and
Yeah.
some of the artists, like I'm LinkedIn. I'm not gonna like front say, oh yeah, I know them all well. I have a I'm on Facebook with a whole lot of great artists, and I see the work that they're doing, and I just try to support sometimes with that like, with that share, with that comment,
Right.
um, because I understand, based on some of the conversations I'm hearing when I'm out at the venues, where some people are in that scheme of entrepreneurship and wanting to be, like full-time artists and everything.
I
So,
used to want to be full time, but at this point, I
yeah,
love doing this.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love doing this. Like I look forward. Like if I could do it more than once a week, I would. But that'd be a bit much for me. But I love doing this show. I love my show.
yeah.
Doing the show. And
My
believe
best
it or
friend. Oh,
not, listen, and
oh,
believe it or
sure.
not, when I first started, I was fighting, kicking and screaming. My homeboy JP, Mona, do your podcast, do your own podcast, because you got the voice for it. Do your own podcast. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I've always been, you're Batman. I'm Robin. It was always that because I used to always do a show with him, and he was like,
Hmm.
no, no, no. You need to start your own show. And man, when I first started, I was so nervous, but it was so easy. My first interview was with Mike C from the Fearless Four. That was my
Okay.
first
Okay.
interview. And he made it, he was like, Mona, don't worry, you're going to be fine. And it was just so easy. After that first time, I was like, whoo, okay, I'm ready. Let's
Wow.
go. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the approach too. I mean, you say you're gonna get the questions, where you're gonna get them from, and
Yep.
and like, when you sent them, it's like, hey, these are good to go. You
Yeah, yeah. I
know,
just want to make sure because some people be like, oh, without look. Here's the question. You tell me which one you want me to remove, which one you want me to keep, and I like to do that to give them the respect that
right, right, right.
you know.
And that's a great thing. I think at this stage of my life, it's like transparency, and if it can help others, that's why I said, I remember I was saying, hey, just bring the questions,
Right,
because
right.
you know, um, yeah, yeah. So,
Yep.
but credible. Hey, I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
So we got a couple more, but those are the challenges that I have seen. Just
Okay.
access to a wider audience, because there are gates at various levels, and they literally tell you you've done this, so now, I guess based on algorithms,
Mm-hmm.
now you're going to be expanded to a wider set of viewers that
Right.
may or may not. So it's just an interesting process.
Mm-hmm.
But you pay your dues. It makes me really understand and appreciate when people stand on stage and share the gratitude for having made it to a point where they can live off the earnings of being an artist, if you would. And they get up there and almost have to be pulled off a stage, and while they're thanking, because
Right.
yeah. And I think what I see is some people get in the door and shut it behind them. And I
Mm.
guess I guess you have I guess that's the way some people are. And I was gonna say earlier, one of my best friends actually said one of your main issues is you wanted to take everybody with you.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody can go. You want to see everybody win, but not everyone wants to see themselves win, or they have a certain set of circumstances to where, um, sometimes you would say that they were like, they're gonna wait your win. And sometimes I said, I'd rather Because once again, when I think of what was that? One of my favorite Rakim
Uh huh.
lines was when he says, "Dig 'em, I never dug 'em. They wouldn't follow the leader long enough, so I drug 'em."
Right.
I drug them along
Right.
with
Right.
me.
Mhm.
You know, um, so sometimes that works out, and the light bulb will come on for those folks, and then other times you hear more often than not, you can't take her. You got to start shutting certain people out, or everybody wants something from you, or whatever the case. Well, you wanted something from someone on the way up.
Wow.
You wanted something from someone on the way up. So, yeah, I think in my whole former industry, it was about mentorship. We had these
Okay.
things called career development boards where we sat people down and share with them the process to get from here to there.
Right.
And it was just part of what we did. It wasn't something that we necessarily charged absorbent fees for, but yeah, I'm getting off on a tangent. So,
It's
but
okay.
yeah.
It's all right. All right. Number 15. What advice would you give to aspiring hip hop artists?
Mm, wow.
I can answer that
You
too.
gotta be really, really, you gotta be really deliberate.
Mhm.
You do have to, there's work to be put in.
Okay.
There's, you want to study the craft some because, setting up copyright and BMI and going on, filling out the applications to make sure the publishing is right, to make sure the folks are credited properly. So you want to put in some work, learning the craft. You know, the more you're able to do sometimes yourself, the better. Like first, it
Okay.
was just the music and the writing. Now I gotta say, are my video Spike Lee or Tyler Perry worthy? No,
Mhm.
but I definitely get some good. So learning how to create in addition to what that primary thing you do is now here's the visual.
Okay.
So it's interesting the process of putting together promo videos and lining up the timing of the words. All that took YouTube or the School of Hard Knocks, the people who would tell you and give you little tidbits here on what to do. But I'm telling you, some parts of this industry, the hip hop industry, I think tighter than the CIA and some
Some are. I've been
organization.
grateful. I've been grateful.
You know,
Like I learned how to do music because when I first started, I was bugging all my producers and when is it gonna be done? When is it gonna be done? Are you done yet? Are you finished yet? And they was like, Moni, you're driving me fucking crazy. And I was like, yo, well then show me how to do this so that I can help you so we can
yeah,
get our music done.
yeah.
And
And I was, yeah, yeah.
I started with Fruity Loops, learning how to do music on Fruity Loops. And so
Wow.
I don't like doing music though. I would rather edit. I would rather edit. I would
Hmm.
rather, I don't like doing music. That shit is very tedious and it's very for me cuz I'm working on a track right now with another producer and I had to call him and say, "Yo, Joe, I need you to take care of this because I don't know what else to do and it's making me nervous." So he was
Hmm.
like, "Ugh, here you go again with that." And so we finished the track. We didn't finish the track completely, but we got most of it done, right?
Hmm.
Because I couldn't do it by myself. I don't like doing music like that because I feel like, all right, my back is against the wall, and now everybody's gonna be listening, and they're waiting to see if in my mind, they're waiting to
Hmm.
see if I fucked up or where I fucked up on the track or what did I do wrong? And I'm like, nah, I'm not. I'd rather edit.
You know what? It's funny you say that because
Mm-hmm.
you have people that'll tell you never rap again, or you have people that tell you stuff like that. And sometimes I literally look and
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like, what are you creating? One,
Right.
you can't tell me like once I'm determined to do something, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna be easily dissuaded or easily put off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I just see a lot. Sometimes that's the other thing about this. I just see a lot of like hating and stuff on people. You know, this one young artist put something out about she didn't want to necessarily be famous, but she wanted to share her art. And
Mm-hmm.
people started going in on her rather
Wow.
than first just doing this thing that's calling affirming. I can actually appreciate your
Right.
stance because that's you. You're a human, a fellow human being,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you feel about it.
Right.
You really didn't want the fame that came along. You wanted people to hear your art. And people like, what? Why you do music? Because she wanted to influence and inspire people. But
Cause
maybe
that's what she wanna do. Mind your fucking business. Cause that's
exactly,
my mouth. My mouth is always. I
exactly.
go right to shut the fuck up and mind your business.
Yeah, you told me how you just get right to it
Oh
with
my
that.
god!
But
Sometimes I have to learn how to just bite my tongue because I'll be like, "The fuck do you mean?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you?" You know.
yeah, but some of the best advice I got though, and it's not you know, and I know if my family was around, like I'm so tired of that quote. But one
Mm,
of my favorite quotes is to not allow, never allow insignificant people to
right.
create significant events
Right.
in your life.
Right.
Don't react, respond. Because the minute you react to
Mm.
someone's provocation, they're
Mm-hmm.
more in control of you than you are.
Right.
They are more in control of you than you are. You
Right.
just allowed them into your
Yep.
infrastructure, into
Yep.
your brain house group or whatever it is you want to
Meanwhile,
call
they not even
it. Yeah,
thinking about you.
right. All they
Yeah.
want to do is sabotage
Right.
and move
Right.
on.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
I said something today. Don't ever let somebody
Mm.
who's doing nothing
Right.
tell you that something you're doing will
Right.
result in nothing. Let them
Mm.
do nothing. You do your something. Let them do their nothing. Let them stay over there and just be hyper focused
Right.
on what you and your gift and your calling said that it's time for you to do.
Right. I'm
Because someone
definitely
is like, oh,
I'm
go ahead.
definitely gonna get my cousin's information to you because you might need, you might want to do another CD
Hey,
or another
all right,
EP, and he's got some really dope
okay.
music that I think you would like
Yeah. Hey, I
from your
appreciate
s- your style of your style. Yeah, I think
that.
I
Okay.
think you would. I'll make sure you get his information. So
But those were the advices. Those
yeah,
were the
yeah,
advices that towards the end. Never let incident, and
yes,
sometimes you have to even render
uh
people
huh,
who are significant temporarily insignificant if
right,
if they tripping
yes.
because now you're allowing them to dictate a
You think it's
calling that you ain't.
jealousy? Think it's jealousy?
Sometimes it's jealousy. Sometimes
It's
people are
just
just
envy. I mean, that's a synonym
oh,
to it's. I'm
it's just like they have nothing better to do than to troll people. It's
or or they don't even realize that they're jealous or that they're envious, and it just I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt sometimes, so I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, oh yeah, believe me, that happens a lot, but you just have to be in that mindset and remember
Mhm.
somebody like when you can listen to all those folks, and
Mhm.
I see the stuff from time to time,
Yes.
but then I have a month like I performed 3 songs at this 25th wedding anniversary,
Mhm.
and one of them when you've been in a long relationship and gone through some things, you know. I'm trying to think. Like I said, forgiveness frees the heart and mind, but trust
Mhm.
is restored through
Mhm.
changed behavior over time. And then I'm going to, have you ever been in a relationship? Have you ever come to a place in your relationship where everything you seem to do seem to just be a battle?
Mm.
Time seem to slip. And next thing you know, and that that person who said that silenced all those other people because that person was in a situation
Mm.
where that had an impact on them,
Okay.
and so they said, "Could you tell me that thing again? What you said about the whole thing with the trust?" I said, "Yeah, sure." there are two types of trust: functional and relational. I can
Mm.
functionally trust someone to perform and do tasks.
Right.
Doesn't mean I can relation them, trust them with my inner thoughts and things of that nature. So
Got it.
people will say trust and don't understand that there's a functional trust and a relational trust.
Mm.
Relational trust, there's the intimacy, and then there's the into me see. I'm allowing
Wow.
you because I trust you to see into me. You know, that type of stuff. Don't
Wow.
even get it. Then there's the misconstruing of what forgiveness is versus, like, so when I say forgiveness frees the heart and mind. You
Mm-hmm.
forgive to get it out your system.
Okay.
But the trust is restored by, usually you sit down and you say, okay, this is how you offended me, especially if
Okay.
it's been multiple offenses.
Okay.
How are you going to not do it? And then I want to see that over a period of time, and then trust is restored. So just because someone is forgiven, some people who are forgiven think that instantaneously you put them right back into the same position they were with regards to trust. That's not always the case.
Right.
Sometimes you have to earn that back after you've done something,
That's right.
so that's what I'm seeing.
That's
And,
right.
and, and so what I see is just, as this particular question is still up there. Those are the different advice. You're gonna have people say stuff. Keep
Mm-hmm.
doing what you were called to do, what you were gifted to do. Somebody, maybe not the ones that's talking that junk, but somebody is waiting to hear what you had to share.
Right.
So
There's always one.
yep.
There's always
Yeah.
one. Yeah. All right. Last question.
All right.
What are your goals for the future of your career? Mhm.
Ooh, career.
Right.
Um,
Your career. Right.
yeah.
I don't know what you call it. If it's your career or it's, yeah, I don't know. You know.
I take it seriously, that I
Okay.
do, because I know dealing with hearts, minds, and so I do take it seriously and
Okay.
responsibly. Don't take that. But as far as I will probably create until I'm not able to. I don't know. That's a career. So um, and just continue to put stuff out, even if it's just for something. Because with some of the places I've been, and travel really opens your mind up to so much stuff, because it's definitely easier to name the countries I have not been to
Right.
than the countries that I have, and you take away things. So when I think about that, you know, career might be the not the word. I mean, a music career is more
Mm.
like a music journey until there's not.
Okay.
Um, because I did other things, and again, that's no knock on any of the artists. That is another thing I loved about hip hop, and so real more so than my future in career in hip hop is,
Mm-hmm.
again, that gratitude to hip hop for bringing me through
Mm.
a career. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been in some of those rooms, and I've had some younger individuals come up when I even mid career. Like, I was listening to a Big Daddy Kane song, and I was in a pretty serious meeting, but it was a break. I
Right.
had my headphones on, and I'm out in the hallway just kind of bopping till it's time to go back into the meeting. And someone comes up and says, "Man, what you listening to?" And I told them, like, "Get out of here." And then I just said, "I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Nothing you can do to this. Mess around." He actually says, "Fuck around with Kane, come out black." But
Right.
that in your face, when I heard that, so now I'm going back into the next meeting, and if there is a hater in there, I'm thinking, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. There's nothing you can do to this, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it's more so about going back and saying thank you
Right.
to some incredible artists,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever career is just going to be a journey of releasing music, and that's about the best way I can answer that question.
Okay. And where can they find you?
So on social media, I'm pretty much on, Seeymoore Bell, or
Mm.
sometimes they require you to put your government name. So,
Okay.
but Seeymoore Bell
Uh-huh.
is, which I really didn't want that, because that easily makes people be able to tie. Maybe that's one reason why some artists don't rock me. I don't know, because they know that background side of me. I don't know,
Okay.
but
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm on all social media platforms as Seeymoore Bell,
Okay.
Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
X or Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Music is on all of the streaming platforms, and yeah,
I want to thank you so much. I learned so much tonight. I really appreciate you.
and
I really appreciate you coming on the
I
show
appreciate
tonight.
you.
Now, one more
And
thing I
it's
want
funny
to
how we
ask you.
met, just
I know, right? Just on humble, fucking around
Facebook
online.
on a
Yeah.
whim, and then like like I'm after three texts, I'm okay. This is a call, and then
Right.
she
Like, can you
sent the
just,
number, So
it's just,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it's always so long.
Now, let me ask you this. Can you spit a couple of lines from something? Just a couple,
Okay,
not just a few lines.
okay. Let's see. Um, well, I try to stay away from drama, especially drama that causes trauma, just like that between Pop and Mama. In life, you see a period and I see a comma. I will war, but I prefer peace, like the Dalai Lama.
Mm.
Presidents will shine like Michelle and Obama. I bah ha 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 like the sheep of the llama. Chill in the Bahamas while I'm reflecting on my torn pages. My life, you intended to end it. I couldn't comprehend it. That BS why you even attempt to send it. So it's like, um, and then let's see, what's another part of that part? And then it says, wow. Oh man. So in real men, like I said, real men express, real men
Mm-hmm.
feel, real men open
Mm.
up. It's unhealthy to conceal. Real men hope and real men cope. Real men know what it means to emote. Real men help keep relationships afloat. When we see rough seas, we don't just jump out the boat. So it's like relational stuff like that.
Right.
Old school, let's see, reminiscing. I want to fly you away to a faraway land. Oh no, you know what? I can't
Mm.
do that one. I can't do that
Okay.
one
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
But so it's just like stuff like I wish. Let's see, what's another one? It's funny how when
Right.
oh,
You get put on the spot. You can't
and
remember
then,
shit.
oh, it's gone. It's gone. Oh no, no, yeah, it is funny how sometimes you have that. Like I'm finding the rhymes that I want to. So uh, that's crazy. That is crazy.
It's okay. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. It's all right. Listen, I'm definitely gonna support your new endeavor. I'm definitely gonna post it once I get the information, so that way people can listen to it and copy also, because I think it's dope. And I really wanted to just thank you for coming on my
Hey, hey,
show. Thank you so much
I,
for coming on my show. It was a very dope interview. And I
hey,
mean, I guess
thanks.
that's all we got right now.
Hey, I appreciate it. And appreciate you. And again, thank you for having me on. And
Yes, yes.
shout out, was it Tamika?
Yeah, Tamika, I'm telling you,
Hey, wait.
we gonna start a GoFundMe for Tamika. I'm telling you, her
Hey,
computer's all jacked up. Something happened and she can't even get on it because she does my background work. And she can't do nobody's background work right now because her shit is fucked up. So
yeah,
we're gonna start a support group for her and
yeah.
and a support fund for her or something. So, but we'll talk. I got
Hey,
you.
I look
Thank you
forward
so
to it because
much. And I'm
hey,
gonna holler
thank
at
you.
you when we get off. I'm gonna call you in a little bit, and we're gonna chit chat a little bit about the show tonight. Okay?
All right. Hey, I
All right.
appreciate it.
No
Thanks now.
problem. Have a good one. All
Hey,
right.
you too now. All right.
Well, that's all for tonight, y'all. I'm telling you, goodness gracious, this was a dope interview. Again, I want to thank y'all for showing up. I want to thank y'all for listening. I want to thank y'all for hanging out with Uptown with Mona. We meet 7 p.m. every Monday on YouTube and Facebook. If you want to donate, you can donate. My Cash App is Uptown with Mona. If you want to be interviewed or you have an idea or anything like that, Gmail, Uptown with Mona at gmail.com. And don't forget, if y'all in New York City, January 27th, 2025 at Comedy in Harlem on 147th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue. They're open at 7, showtimes at 8. The Naughty List. It's an all erotic open mic, and it's also going to be my birthday party, mine and my AKA brother Breeze, and we are going to so many shenanigans. We're going to have adult games and all that stuff. So all right, y'all. So I just wanted to let y'all know that I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And we're going to chat again next week, okay? Don't forget, every Monday at 7 p.m. And that's it. I'm done, baby. Have a good night, everybody. And that's a wrap for today's show, y'all. Thanks again for tuning in to Uptown with Mona. Be sure to join us again next week for another exciting episode. Until then, I'm your host, Mona Baudet, and I'm saying peace and love. Have a wonderful day.